Sheldon, little bootleg ass studio.
Well, now what's the motherfucking deal? Welcome back to Sheldon's bootleg ass studio, where we come to kick it, vibe out, and shoot this shit with Sheldon, man. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for pulling up. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go and get up into this video today. Now, today we got Walmart in the hot seat, you feel me? Now, maybe you've heard, maybe you haven't heard, but you may be eligible to receive $500 from Walmart. And, well, let's just play this video and we'll come back and talk about it.
If you ain't fucking with my nigga Sheldon, nigga, fuck you, yeah.
Some Walmart shoppers could be eligible to get up to $500 as part of a settlement around overcharging for some groceries. Now, it applies to anyone who bought weighted goods or bagged citrus, like oranges or lemons, or in my case, my little grapefruit, okay, in the past 6 years. The lawsuit alleges Walmart's checkout machines raised the weight of those items, making the price higher. Now, if you're looking to get the highest payout, you will need to show receipts for the food involved. Now, wait a minute. Yeah, you don't need the receipt, though, to submit the claim. So at least take the first step if you're part of that group.
Now, you heard what the lady said. She said with receipt. She said that you may be eligible up to $500, but you have to have your receipt. But you don't have to have it to submit the claim, of course, but you have to have it in order to receive those funds. Now, let me raise a question. How many of y'all out here actually keep up with your receipts like that? Now, I'm sure some of y'all may say you do, you know, and kudos to you. But what about those who don't? What about those who go into this establishment trusting that they are paying what the price tag says? You know, we've been dealing with Walmart for so many years. We don't expect Walmart to be robbing us. You understand me? But here we are being law-abiding citizens, paying what we're supposed to pay, or at least that's what we're thinking, and we're being robbed. And then they have the nerve to want to prosecute people for skip scanning at the self-checkout. Now, how does that work? But I'm saying these are some of the biggest crooks. They've been robbing folks left and right, and just only a portion of those people who have been robbed by Walmart will receive the payout. So they won't be paying back fully what they have taken at all. They will not be paying back in full because first you have to have a receipt. What about those people who've been robbed who don't have their receipts? So they won't be eligible for the payback. And who's to say it's only $500? Who's to say it is way more than $500? Like, you know, but they're only going to get up to $500? Or is it more? Anyway, and speaking of these self-checkouts, Walmart has been removing some of these self-checkout registers across in some of these places.
Walmart announced this morning it's removing self-checkout lanes at one of its St. Louis stores. Contact 2's Mike Colombo has more on what led to that decision.
Starting Sunday, Walmart says it will begin removing the self-checkout lanes at the store on Watson Road in Shrewsbury. The retailer will return to associate staff checkouts in what it called a change driven by our commitment to improving the in-store experience.
Is Walmart's decision to remove self-checkout lanes at its Shrewsbury store surprising? Yes. Unprecedented? No.
Several Albuquerque Walmarts are ditching self-checkout, and it comes with mixed reaction from shoppers.
From our sister station in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to this headline from Cleveland, Ohio, Walmart has removed self-checkout at select stores coast to coast. In a statement, Walmart says converting the lanes at the Shrewsbury store was based on several factors, including feedback from associates and customers, shopping patterns, and business needs in this area. Adding, "We believe the change will improve the in-store shopping experience and give our associates the chance to provide more personalized and efficient service."
We asked Walmart to go into greater detail about why this is happening at the Shrewsbury store and if there are plans to make similar changes at other St. Louis area Walmarts. A spokesperson told us Walmart had nothing more to add to the story. They say they'll remove the self-checkout lanes after the store is closed for the night. a process that's expected to last approximately 2 weeks.
Now you hear him saying that they have been taking this into account because of feedback from customers and things of that nature. People have been griping about this for years. People have been griping about this for years, man. It wasn't until now they want to do something about it. All right, so they say the decisions was made based upon several factors, including feedback from associates and customers, shopping patterns, and business needs in this area. Wow. Well, you know, people have been griping about this for years, since before they went full self-checkout across the nation. You see what I'm saying? They've been saying that this is stealing jobs from employees and things of that nature. So what I'm getting at, the decision was not based upon customers' feedback and associates and shopping patterns and things of that nature. The decision was based upon them losing money. You see what I'm saying? Because they thought that they was going to benefit greatly off of these self-checkouts. For sure. Yeah. And from a business standpoint, I understand. It makes sense. You want to cut corners at all costs if you can. You feel me? That way you can maximize the profits. And that's just the way we are in business. I mean, if you ain't in it to win it, then what you in it for? So I understand that. But at the same time, it hurts the economy. It hurts real people. You know, the real people get the short end of the stick. You see what I'm saying? And not only am I just telling you this because I foresaw this coming, but this is what they are saying. Listen.
Some of the retailers, while they were originally enthusiastic about benefiting from the lower labor costs that would take place with not having to hire folks to check folks out, are now recalculating, you know, sort of at that checkout line, that it makes sense to pay for that cashier to make sure that what is going in folks' grocery bags is things that they're paying for.
And of course, there's pros and cons in having these self-checkout. So I'm not just all the way against it, but I feel like the companies was leaning towards self-checkouts more than actually employing real human beings. You feel me? Now, there was a recent MIT study done, and I found this on Quora.com. I guess I pronounced that correctly, Quora. Quora. Don't know, but anyway, we have it right here, and this is for my brainiacs out here. We're just gonna break down from the business standpoint why they would benefit purchasing these self-checkout kiosks versus employing real human beings. All right, now according to Quora.com, it says a recent MIT study put the average cost of a 4-station grocery checkout station at $125,000 in install. If it lasted 10 years, without significant repairs, it would work out to around paying someone $3,125 a year, or about $1.25 per hour. All right, so let's do that math real quick. So, all right, so you got $125,000, and we have 4 of them. You get $31,250 a piece for each one of them. So you got 4 of them, which cost you $125,000. All right, now then you're going to divide this number right here by 10 years. Because you have to think about how much you would pay an employee per year and how much this would cost you, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so about 10 years, and then that's how you get the $3,125 a year, all right? And then you break that down, then you'll get $1.25 an hour. All right, and then it goes on to say, I'll generally ignore benefits, holidays, etc. for the employees, plus the cost of the machines/stations needed by the humans. But I'll likewise ignore the general maintenance for the machines, which is a lot. So what that is basically saying is it's not going to factor in for employees the PTO, sick days, holidays, vacation, all of that, etc. You know, taking time off and the company still having to pay for it, and you're not making the company no money. And they're also not going to count the fact that, you know, when the machines break down and they have to repair it and it costs them, you know, who knows, let's just say $3,000, anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000, not making the company money. It's an expense. You see what I'm saying? So it's not counting those things, we're just gonna assume that everything is working smoothly, that you have perfect attendance, you never get sick, you one of those people who just never miss work. In a perfect world, we're just gonna count everything like that. That's what it's saying. All right, now let's go on with the breakdown. It says there are, of course, lots of issues with such comparisons. So let's get up into it. It says 1, the machines are much more efficient than a person. MIT rates them about 3.2 times more efficient getting people through. So it could be replacing more than 4 workers, possibly 10 or more, if a store is really busy and people use those lines. Alright, and 2, you typically need a minimum of 1 human employee available to supervise the machines at all times. People often need help, the machines fail, the price is wrong, the scales don't register a product, etc. 3, people can do other jobs. This is huge. If you have 4 checkout people and it isn't busy, you can put 1 on 1 checkout and have the 3 others cleaning, labeling products, stocking, running prices, etc. This is actually huge since a checkout machine can't even clean itself yet. Because with all this AI going on, I'm sure they on their way to doing so as well. This was, it looks like this was posted 4 years ago. So yeah, you know. Anyway, let's continue. 4, the machines aren't limited in hours. There is no overtime, issues with shifts, vacations, etc. So yeah, you don't have to factor in an employee calling in sick. You don't have to, and using their PTO. And then, you know, they getting paid for not being at work and the company still having to pay. You see what I'm saying? Or the company having to pay time and a half for overtime, and you know, so it's just flat rate for this. Once you pay this, eventually it'll start paying for itself. That's what their whole end game was. Anyway, let's continue. It says 5, the machines are often extremely efficient in cases where you have lots of small transactions. Foot traffic buying a few snacks versus someone trying to buy an entire cart full of product, meats, etc. The ability to get people through the line can increase overall sales versus people not stopping because the lines are too long. So, for the actual point at which it is cost effective to replace checkout people tends to depend on a lot of factors, but primarily the overall size of the store. If you currently have a dozen checkout lines, you can probably replace, say, 4 people with one of these stations. However, if you only have 6 lines, it may be questionable if you can replace anyone with these, since chances are you only have 2 or 3 lines open at a time and any other 2 or 3 employees busy with other tasks. All right, now, so you can see how that would benefit in paying a machine, so to speak, $1.25 per hour versus a real employee, $20 an hour, because that's, you know, what people are raging for minimum wage to be. They could benefit greatly. I mean, that's a no-brainer. They're looking at that like wolves licking their chops. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's big money. They trying to finesse. That's what that is. They ain't got nothing to do with no damn feedback. I'm here to tell you now. It's all about the finance. Yeah. So this was the whole point of the business, is trying to do the self-checkout lines. You feel me? And the reason why they are reverting is not for the benefit of you. No, it has nothing to do with customers and employees, feedback and things of that nature. No, it's because that pocket hurting. I know this to be true because they shut down a Walmart close in the area where I'm living at now because of the crime rate, because there was so much theft. So they don't want to just come out and say this, and they're gonna have smart ways of telling the media, of course, but people like me who have discernment can read right between the lines. You understand me? Now, like I said, I'm not all the way against self-checkout because it has its pros, it has its cons. You know, when you walking through and you only want, said a few items, you can get on through if the lines aren't long, you know, versus you having to stop and, you know, have small talk with a cashier that may lead into longer talk or whatever, you know, and then any kind of other interactions. You understand me? But it also has taken away from customer service. People don't know how to interact anymore. There's no interaction. some of these establishments, they have stores where you can just go in and there's no interaction at all. You can just go in it, get what you want, and come out. And then your card will be charged based on you having some type of app or and your card hooked up to that app, and then those RFID labels is being read as you walk out of the store, something like that. Like it's some high-tech shit going on that they got, but at the same time, it is ridding the interaction of human beings, and nobody knows how to interact with each other anymore. We're just out here becoming robots, and people are not going to be engaging in reproduction anymore. They got these sex robots already out here, you feel me? So people aren't even going to need each other after a while. Well, we definitely going to need each other, but in the minds of these people that they are producing nowadays, with all of this super techie, you know, isolating world that we're going to, it's gonna bite us in the butt a couple decades down the line. Anyway, I digress. Let me know how you feel about this in the comment section below. If you vibed all the way up until this point, I really do appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Yo, until next time, I'm SheldonVybez. I need y'all to be cool like the other side of the pillow. Stay light on your toes like you suppose. Oh yeah, no.
If you ain't fucking with my nigga Sheldon, nigga, fuck you. Yeah.
Oh God.